Hi, guys. I am Lacey from On the End CrossFit and Nutrition. Thank you so much for joining me for this webinar. Unfortunately, I failed to hit the record button last night when we did this live with all of our participants. So you are getting this recorded without all of their lovely comments and offerings, but I will try and throw some of those in there as well. I'm going to keep this short, sweet, and still hopefully entertaining. So let's get it started. We're here to talk about 3 things that are slowing your progress in the gym and the one thing that you can do to overcome it. At On the End Nutrition, we are excited to be partnered with the dietitians at HSN who have helped tens of thousands of people around the world take control of their health through our simple habit-based approach. Here are some of our own personal success stories. Some members in our gym. Super excited to have been working with these guys. If you have come into our actual physical gym, you will see a wall of success with tons more of these type stories. And we are so excited to be able to showcase those in the gym. So if you come in, make sure, stop by, check them out. We've got some transformation photos up there. I mean, it's super exciting. All right, so let's dig in. Let me know if any of these things resonate with you. Like you want to gain muscle, right? So you start working out, you start lifting all the time, but you're not seeing the bulk or the definition that you want. Or say you're trying to increase your run distance, but it seems like the more you train, the slower and the more exhausted you seem to always be. Like it feels like you're losing progress instead of gaining it. Or a really common one, you're wanting to slim down. You're unhappy with how you look and how you feel. So you start hitting the gym 4 or 5 days a week, but the scale isn't moving, or even worse, it's moving in the whole wrong direction, and you're just feeling tired and weak. Any of these sound familiar to you? When we stop seeing progress, where does that lead? Leads to frustration, skipping our workouts, eating crap food, right? We want to see results for all of our hard work. So why aren't we seeing them? Well, we're going to talk about some of that. In your workbook for this webinar, you will see on the very first page this wheel, all right? At On the End CrossFit Nutrition, we believe in a holistic approach to wellness. So have a look at this wheel on this first page. Nutrition, stress, sleep, exercise, support system, lifestyle. Some of the barriers that we're going to be talking about today are on this wheel. I want you to take just a second, look at it, take a little self-reflection, and keeping these holistic aspects in mind, write out one habit you've already established, one you feel you currently need to work on, and one that you want to dive into in the future. You can go ahead and pause this video, take a couple seconds, and fill that out. All right, so now on to 3 things that are slowing your progress in the gym. Those 3 things are lack of sleep, lack of sufficient energy intake, and lack of consistency. So first, what we need to do is figure out what it is that's holding us back. And for most of us, it's a lack of consistency in and outside the gym. So let's dive into these and why they're so important, and then some things that we can do about them. So the first thing that's slowing your progress in the gym is lack of sleep. It is recommended that adults get 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. If we are getting less than that multiple nights a week, we are not going to have enough energy to keep us going through our workouts, not to mention the lack of recovery and the hormone disruptions and all the complications that hormone disruptions create, like with your cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone that can affect metabolism, recovery, and inflammation in the body. And when you don't sleep, your cortisol level is elevated. Leptin, the hormone that tells your brain that you're full, is decreased. And ghrelin, the hormone that makes you hungry, is increased. So we're more stressed, we're less satisfied, and we are more hungry. And in no scenario does that sound like a recipe for success, right? Okay, so we get that, but how does that directly affect our progress in the gym? Well, as you fall deeper asleep, blood flow begins to increase, which expedites the process of moving oxygen and nutrients throughout your body. And this is going to help to repair and recover muscles and regenerate cells. And deep sleep specifically is linked to the release of growth hormones, which stimulate muscle growth and repair, as well as burning fat. All things that are going to help get us stronger over time and prevent injury. So, if this is a barrier for you, what can you do? Let's discuss some of the things that we can do to help with lack of sleep. Tip number one is going to be set a sleep wake cycle. So, having a set schedule as part of your day gets your brain and your body in the routine of sleeping for the amount of time that your body needs. A couple of tips for setting your sleep schedule are going to include having a set wake up time, regardless of whether it's a weekday or a weekend. I know you may not like that one as much, but regardless of whether it's a weekday or a weekend, if we can wake up at the same time every day, it's very much going to regulate our sleep. Another thing is staying mindful of naps, trying to keep our naps relatively short, limit those to the early afternoon if needed, and make sleep a priority. While it's super tempting to skip sleep to work or study or socialize, work out, whatever, it is vital to treat sleep as a priority. Number two, optimize your bedroom. In order to fall asleep more quickly, you want your bedroom to feel calm and free of disruptions. So, what are some things that we can do in our bedroom space? Well, having a comfy mattress and pillow. I know it sounds simple, but I mean, it's a totally legit one, right? Minimizing clutter. That's going to be huge. Setting a cool and comfortable temperature in the room, blocking out as much light as you can. And if you need to, use something like white noise machines, earplugs, something like that. And then our third tip is going to be fixing your sleep routine hygiene. So, how you prepare for bed can determine how easily you'll be able to fall asleep. And staying consistent with your routine by following the same steps each night, that can reinforce your mind that it's bedtime. I want you to avoid bright lights and electronics. They can hinder the production of melatonin, a hormone that creates a hormone, my words, that your body creates to facilitate sleep. Set aside 30 minutes. Maybe you don't have 30 minutes, that's totally fine. Set aside 10 minutes, whatever you do have. But set aside a small window of time for winding down before bed. Take that time to enjoy activities that bring you relaxation. I know one of my personal favorites is putting on my Hertz playlist. I'll start that in the evening while I'm brushing my teeth, doing some face massage, putting on my moisturizer, whatever that is. You can do some paced breathing, some journaling, some meditations. A lot of the people on the call yesterday really liked podcasts, things like that. So do something that's relaxing to you. But the second you start to do that regularly, your body starts to know those cues, and bam, your body starts to wind down and get ready for that time in the bed. All right, you ready for number two? What's slowing your progress in the gym? Not eating enough. So I know some of you may have thought, oh, it's eating too much. Well, commonly, when we are trying to crush it in the gym and see certain number goals, we restrict our calories, right? Nothing wrong with that as long as we're doing it wise. But just like not sleeping enough, not eating throughout the day is going to decrease energy levels and short us on recovery. So if you're consistently eating less calories than you need, your body is going to start to break down muscle to use for fuel. And over time, that is going to mess with our metabolism, making it harder to lose weight. And like back to what we said earlier about recovery and sleep, well, if nutrients move through our body for recovery during sleep, what happens when there's a lack of nutrients there? Our body's not going to fully recover, right? And if we're under eating, then we are more than likely not taking in enough protein for muscle protein synthesis. Protein is the building block of muscle. It's made up of amino acids that help to grow, maintain, and repair different cell tissues in the body, like muscle. So if we're not getting enough, our muscles are not going to grow in size or strength. And this is going to stop us from making any progress despite all of our hard efforts in the gym. And then in addition to protein intake, cutting calories too low can reduce our carbohydrate intake, creating other complications within our body. Carbohydrates are our body's preferred source of energy. They spare our protein and our muscle tissue, allowing us to see those gains in the gym. And not only do we need them to fuel our workouts, but our brains need them too. They need them for function and facilitating sleep. So, how do we start fueling properly to reach our goals? Well, first solution is going to be plan your meals. Doing this can help keep you from skipping meals or eating foods that don't support your goals in the gym. And there are many different ways to plan or prepare meals ahead of time that are going to make nutrition more convenient and less of a barrier when it comes to getting serious about your goals in the gym. You can meal prep. You can use a food service like PaleoWorks or Vibrant Meals. We are super fortunate in Nashville to be able to use a lot of these services. We have tons of them available to us. And that makes it super easy. And you know what? If none of those work for you, get creative. There are plenty of other ways that you can find something that works for you. One of my personal hacks when I know I'm busy is I'll go hit Martin's Barbecue or Honey Fire Barbecue, and I will go pick up a pound of smoked turkey, and I'll hit Aldi and I'll grab some pre-bagged salads. Like that stuff's in my fridge. So if I am in a pinch and I am not able to like prepare something for 20 minutes, bam, bag, turkey, bam, I'm good to go. It's easy. And I'm not going to reach for something that's less desirable for my body. Another thing is, even if you're eating out, there are ways to still fuel properly. So I'm going to show you how. And that's going to be by using the plate method. Normal meals and snacks should always contain a balance of protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Those are our 3 macronutrients. Always strive to eat whole foods as much as possible. Limit sugar intake. No more than 6 teaspoons, about 24 grams for women, and 9 for men, about 36 grams. Using the plate method is a great way to make sure you're getting a good balance of those macros. So you'll see like our typical plate method over here on the side of the screen, where it's got half your plate in non-starchy carbs. All right, those are your green veggies, your peppers, things like that. And then you'll see you've got a quarter of your plate is protein, and a quarter of your plate is your starchier carbs. So that's going to be your squashes, your potatoes, your grains, things like that. Now you'll see something you may not have seen before is a post-workout meal. This is broken up a little bit differently because we need to replenish our carbohydrates and get some extra protein in. So you're going to see that we've got everything broken into thirds there, right? A little bit more protein, a little bit more starchy carbs, and then still your regular non-starchy veggies. All right, so on to the third thing, lack of consistency. And what is a common barrier to consistency in the gym? Well, that's motivation. And that is why we should set goals. Without goals, we won't be able to see progress or know what we need to do in order to get there. So setting goals is going to provide you with motivation to keep going even on the hardest days. Motivation is also known to follow action. And by this, I mean once you start working out, you'll have a greater drive to keep going. Success breeds motivation. And many times our identified barriers are really excuses, right? And that's the reason that the magic is in what you can consistently commit to, even on your worst days. With the help of goal setting and commitment, you'll be able to overcome those barriers and excuses and find a way to make progress in the gym. We've all heard about SMART goals, right? They're SMART for a reason. We need to make sure they're specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. And these can include scale wins, such as a weight goal, and non-scale victories, such as an actionable habit goal. That may be something a little new to you. So I want you to take 1 minute and write down a long-term goal. And then I want you to break it down into a short-term actionable habit goal. So let me give you an example. If you want to lose 30 pounds, I know that's going to be a long-term goal. So one thing I know I need to work on is getting into the gym more consistently. If I'm currently only going one time a week and it's inconsistent, maybe I write down that my actionable short-term goal is going to be going to the gym 2 times a week for the next 4 weeks. So it's a habit that we're creating that's going to help us get to that bigger goal. You can pause this if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and skip on. So, in addition to not having goals, inconsistency can originate from a lack of support. A great way to combat this issue is to find a community. And studies support over and over and over that the success rate in sticking to a program is drastically increased when you're working out with a partner or a group of friends. Not only does it increase consistency in showing up, but it also increases the time spent exercising overall. So, who is your biggest fan? Who do you have that can be that person for you or those people for you? It is so, so important to find your tribe in this world. All right, so we've talked about several things that we can implement to help us overcome some of these obstacles. Hopefully, one of those really spoke to you. But I've given you a lot of tips and tricks, and that might be a lot. So, where do we start? Well, one thing that you can do to definitely start seeing progress is to find that someone who can help keep you accountable and feeling supported. Who has ever been worse off because they had support and accountability in achieving something good that they wanted? No one, right? It always works in our favor. And self-efficacy is rooted in having faith in your abilities, and sometimes that wanes. But I can tell you that me and Hillary definitely believe in your abilities. And because of that, we do offer one-on-one coaching in our gym. We want to help you reach your goals by building a realistic plan, step by step, incorporating a habit-based approach to help you find long-term success. Together, we will dive into all the areas of the holistic focus, including sleep and meal planning, so you can get the most out of your workouts and the other 23 hours of your day. So here at On the End CrossFit Nutrition, we focus on a habit-based approach to create an individualized plan just for you. We work together utilizing our many tools and resources to help build your nutrition foundation to create something that's sustainable. Along with all of our tools and resources that we have and the dietitians that we have in our corner, we know how important support and accountability are when it comes to our long-term goals, which is why we'll be there to help guide you and tweak the plan every step of the way. Now, normally, we only offer one-on-one coaching, but once a year, we do a group challenge. And this year, we actually have one coming up in about a week and a half. And this is a 28-day performance nutrition challenge. So it's going to lay a solid foundation on how to eat, but also give you some extra information on how to fuel around your workouts. One cool thing that you guys should know for sure is that our one-on-one nutrition coaching, our gym membership, and this challenge can all be covered in your HSA and your FSA. So if you need a link to that, definitely reach out to us. I'm pretty sure it's also on our Instagram bio for Life on the End CrossFit. So check that out or reach out to one of us. We will be happy to send you what you need. But this could be a really cool way to kind of test your waters and how your current habits are and where they could improve and who your support system is. And if one-on-one may be something that is a really, really good life-changing thing for you, a really great way to upgrade your life. So if you want in on this challenge, we do only have like 8 spots left. So if you want in, you definitely need to let us know ASAP. Scan that QR code, and you can get in and we can get your meeting scheduled this coming week. But yes, so it's super fun. There's lots of prizes and things like that if you want to jump in on this. And you know what? It ends just in time for Murph. It's going to start out with a workout and a kickoff seminar April 19th, and then it ends with a retest of that workout at the end, May 18th. So yeah, definitely let us know if you want in. All right, let's do a little recap, okay? So, by being consistent with your sleeping, eating, and gym routine, you will increase your confidence and satisfaction not only physically, but in other areas of your life too. Prioritize your sleep, fuel your body, stay consistent. Remember, guys, start slow. Don't shoot for perfection all at once, okay? This takes time. Habits take time. Give yourself some grace. And lastly, let us help you with support and accountability to help you move forward with confidence. Thank you so much for joining me for this webinar. I hope you got some great information out of this. I look forward to doing more of these and hearing any of your questions and comments. Yes, I super appreciate you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and let's get strong AF, guys.